So, I mean, I knew that if I was gonna study abroad, May 2025 was my option. Okay, so I looked at all the ones that were offering courses that I need, and obviously this is technology program. And it's local and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you would be taking it for credit in your major, right? Yeah.
It actually wasn't on my radar at first, because I kind of thought I was capped up on studying abroad, but I think actually it's part of concepts I'm thinking that right now. There's the post you made that had this opportunity, and I didn't realize it was a thing, so it's not really interesting.
Just someone on the website. Interesting.
I'm just wondering, yeah, how over it, you have to learn about it. Like, I think how much
Like, at least one person did it, so.
Well, we want to tell you a little bit about the program and what we're expecting, what we're planning and what we're hoping, and then see what questions you have. So this is, there are three of us here represented today, but this is an interdisciplinary collaborative effort with 4 faculty members. The one who is not here with us today is Dr. Betsy Dobbins in biology. And so this program is interdisciplinary in biology, public health, sociology, and arts. And so it's going to be a really rich experience. We're planning to do activities together. We're not planning to be in the same place, but go entirely separate ways. We're planning to do activities together, but we'll all have different perspectives on those activities. And depending on what course you're signed up for, what course you register for, and what credits you're trying to earn through this program, you'll have different assignments and different things that you're expected to do based on what you experience. We're planning to be on site in Porch, Alabama, which is the home of the Porch Band of Creek Indians, who are Alabama's only federally recognized native tribe. We're planning to be on site there in Porch from, we're pretty sure that this will be about May 6th through May 16th. So it's a May term program. And so your Canvas course and would include assignments and materials, resources that you can access before May 6th, and assignments that you may come home and do complete after May 16th. Any other things about that little detail?
Just that that does include Mother's Day weekend, so we were noticing that as a previous schedule, and we'll be making sure that time.
Yeah. So in addition to credits in your major that might be different from Gen Ed, you can earn Gen Ed Fine Arts if you take SOA 200, or if you take the other course numbers of Sociology 409, Biology 35, or Public Health 450, then these can earn other kinds of Gen Ed credits, social science, science. So I wanted to show you some pictures and tell you a little bit about our history with the Porch Band of Creek Indians. And Dr. Davidson, you were here in this picture, right? There you are. Would you like to tell a little bit about where this was that we were doing?
Well, in that picture, we were at the museum, and it was during the Southeast Indian Festival, right? And so those 3 gentlemen in the middle are I don't know what you call them. They do the festival. They're performers,
Living history demonstrators.
yes. Oh, that's a better term for it. And then the other 2 folks, forgetting her name.
Brandy Chun is the director of the Porch Museum, and I forget his name too, but he was on staff.
Yeah, and he's on staff at the museum too. So we just kind of stopped by the museum and we wanted to check it out. And it's not a huge museum, but it's incredibly rich. And they were so nice to give us like a personal tour, and all of them went with us and walked through the museum and told us all kinds of different, facts about their history, about some of the conflicts and some of the sort of historical conflicts and things like that, but also some of the more recent, very modern history of the porch. And they were really gracious and, they were just really fun. They were really fun. What else can you think about that?
Yeah, well, just that one of the activities that we will be planning to do in our program is to have some pretty in-depth exploration of the museum's collections led by Brady Chun and some of the other porch leaders. They're going to use the exhibits at the museum to help us understand porch history. Some of these exhibits include, stickball sticks, which is sort of looks like lacrosse, but it's a really interesting game that is played for fun, but also historically was even played to settle disputes.
The detail on the stickball event I was really interested was that, it is often played with men and women. But the men and the women have different rules. Basically, the women don't have any rules, but they also don't have any sticks. So you can imagine the men have the sticks, but they have to play by certain rules. The women can do whatever they want with their own hands.
Yeah, and they said like, it's kind of could be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are some other items here that have to do with the stomp dance. This is a rattle that's used ceremonially, made out of a turtle shell. And these aluminum cans or steel cans that you see are carnation milk cans actually, and they're used to make rattles that women use in the stomp dance. They were formerly made from box turtle shells, but box turtles endangered. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah. So they become endangered in California, and so now they use carnation milk cans instead of box turtle shells, which is this I think a nexus. I love that intersection of ecology, biology, arts, sociology, and community health. Where those rattles are concerned. Here are some of the other activities that we're thinking about doing. Here's a picture of the pitcher plant bogs, Michael, and Dr. Bailey, would you like to elaborate on some of the things we'll be doing?
Yeah, well, so the public health class is it's a course that can substitute for the environmental class. It's an on-campus class. So what Dr. Dobbins and I were really interested in collaborating on is looking at the intersection relationships between people and that's especially important for it's especially embedded in the culture. So the pitcher plant bog is one of a number of very unique ecosystems that exist within the reservation and nearby areas that we've been working with the environmental director to identify what their priorities are for shelters. Is one of several types of ecology which is identified that wants us to learn about why it's so significant both biologically but also within the culture. And we'll be talking about the relationship between some of these types of sites and the type of food that traditionally has been grown and what's happening to the water and to other aspects of the ecology that may have changed the way that traditional foods and
tie them together, and we'll do some fun things too that are related to ecology. We'll work in a swimming and tubing day. That'll be, and not that the other things won't be fun, but we'll do some things that are prioritized fun, right? And yeah.
We'll be sampling, macroinvertebrates, which if you don't, know biologists, you know, so like, um, invertebrate animals, so not fish, frogs, things that don't have a backbone, but that are large enough for you to see without that. Insects or pretty crawly, but but we're gonna be looking at what kinds of macroinvertebrates can we find in different sites in the water, because that's one of the best indicators of the which is also people that collecting and identifying these things. And so that's an example of the kind of activities where we can all go out and see what's important about the particular collection sites, learn something about the history and more that are significant about the particular sites. We can all try our hand at finding particular things. Dr. Dobbins and the biology students are probably going to take it a couple steps forward in terms of identifying, finding. The health class can take it steps forward in terms of mapping out what's the need for health and policies around the rates. And then, you know, we can talk about the folklore that and then you know, some of the traditions that are associated. So that's an example where we can all, and then we can go to
Yeah.
so we're all together doing similar things, but then kind of taking that next step for some questions. And then we'll come back together probably every evening with kind of group huddle where we'll talk about what everybody's been learning and how this perspectives.
So we mentioned folklore and culture. One of the things that we'll have a chance to do is explore a little bit, learn a little bit of Muskogee Creek language. This is a flyer that one of the tribal members made up to give you some ideas of Muskogee language phrases. I just want to point out a couple. One of the ways that that you can both be polite and respectful as you interact with the porch is to try out a word or two, try out a phrase or two. And so let's just go ahead and get started with one or two. The way you say thank you is like up there. It looks like an M-E-T-O and it's pronounced Mado. So if you want to say thank you to somebody, then you can say Mado. I imagine we're going to have a lot of opportunities to say Mado to the porch over the time that we're there. And let's see, one more. I'll show you this slide to give you just a little bit another phrase or two. You can see Dr. Davidson there, and that's our colleague Stephen Patasi, who was with us on our first visit to Porch. So Mado, you see up there, that's thank you. If you want to ask how somebody's doing, you can say Estongo, Estongo, and that's sort of, you know, how are you? But they make a point that they really want to, you know, it's not just like, hello, how are you? And you move on, you don't care about the answer. You really want to know when you say Estongo. One of the things that they've said is there's been talk about loss of some of the cultural traditions. This is one of the things that we'll get into a little bit deeper as we get to know the porch and their history, that because they have endured oppression and horrible treatment, they have been forced to let go of cultural, many aspects of their cultural heritage, including language. But there is at least one tribal member who said it this way in a conversation with us, that as long as you know one word, the language is not still there. And so there are ongoing efforts to keep that, keep the language alive and to relearn language and also new languages that are so connected to their biology and their ecology. This is a picture from one of the ways that they try to keep, their heritage and their culture and their traditions going. The porch host a powwow every year on Thanksgiving Day and the day after Thanksgiving. And that is not just for the Porch Band Creek Indians, it's not just for Creeks, and it's not even just for southeastern tribes, it's for people from all over. So there are people from the west and the Midwest and people from all over the southeast, truly, that come every Thanksgiving Day, come to Porch and participate in powwow. But this is one of the pictures that they shared with us from the powwow, where they're having fun and also trying to keep alive a lot of and celebrate a lot of the historical traditions that they have. So what questions do you all have for us?
Oh, what's the housing situation gonna be like?
Hotel.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hotel,
Yeah.
yeah, so probably double up, so 2 guys, gals, 2. Yeah, Hampton and. Yeah, not- Yeah, so yeah, 2 people.
And the inn's gonna be in like Baltimore, not on the Porch territory itself, I'm assuming.
Yes, it's a network. It's not a network.
Yeah.
I think you may have said this before, but like, how long are we?
I think it's like 10 nights, right?
Mhm.
At least 10 nights, yeah.
Yeah, May 6th to 16th is the time frame on site. And of course, you know, the term for the program is May term. And so there'll be some assignments that have due dates that are after that, May 16th. And you'll have resources that are available to you before May 6th. But the on-site time frame is May 6th.
Yeah, we'll do some free readings and such, because one of the things that Beth and I, or Dr. McGinnis and I have, been working on as we've been collaborating with the Porch is how to work with native populations in a way that's not exploitive, because they've been so exploited as well as, well, frankly, genocided, you know, in this country. And so how do you engage with native populations in a way that's ethical and that's not contributing to those forms of exploitation. And so, so preparing for that ahead of time with some readings and other resources.
I just want to, so it's not possible to like do the sociology class and the SOA class at the same time.
Lauren says no. Unfortunately.
That's like taking a semester class that like counts for a humanities and a social science.
Which would be fantastic,
It'd be
but
so great, you get your degree done like that, but
not
no.
possible.
Questions? So, October 18th, is that?
Yeah, I can give our little
Yeah.
logistical Sanford abroad spiel.
That'd be so,
So they're gonna be like, what about this, what about that, if I just lay it all out there, then that may garner some more questions.
yeah,
So you'll have them to learn from about kind of the course content and things that you'll be learning about as a part of this course, but there's also a lot of lead up to get there, right? There's the application process, there's cost, there's scholarships, there's all this crazy stuff, right? So October 18th at 7 a.m. is when May, summer, and fall 2025 program applications open. So regardless of if you decide to apply for this program or any of our programs for May, summer, or fall, October 18th, 7 a.m. is what the day that you need to have in your brain. And you're gonna treat it like class registration. And what I mean by that is just with the sense of urgency, right? Be on our laptop or be on your laptop on our website at 7 a.m. underneath the program description page of this course or any of our courses, ready to apply. Our May and our summers are much more popular and competitive than our summer term program, or than our semester long programs, sorry. So my best advice to you is to apply early to help increase your chances of making it and getting a spot on one of these programs. Because this is one of our domestic programs, this is also one of the most like cost-effective programs you can go on. So just another pitch for it.
Less expensive than an online course at Stanford.
Yeah, so you're definitely, gonna be, I mean, you're not dealing with a passport, you're not dealing with a visa, you're not dealing with flights, so all of that is super helpful. It's, I mean, this is the history we don't learn about in school, so like, you get to go and learn about it, right here, quote, at home, if you will, which I think is really an awesome opportunity. So October 18th, 7 a.m. is when they open, and they go all the way through December 5th, 11:59, which is the last day of class. So the Friday after fall break, the last day of class, is when our applications are open. Everything in abroad.stanford.edu, from FAQs, I'll talk about scholarships in a second, how to apply, you know, all the different questions you're gonna want to know about Stanford Abroad programming as a whole is all there. In terms of scholarships, I need to learn from Jen, our director, who is currently away at a conference, but if we do have what's called the Go Farther grant, which is for first-time international travelers, if, you know, the study abroad or study away program would be your first time traveling outside the United States, but I need to confirm if that scholarship also applies to our study away programs. But that's available, as well as the Heron Scholarship, which is need-based, and then should any of you be a School of the Arts major or minor, we have the Barrington Nichols Thompson Scholarship in name of Larry Thompson's parents and Lady White. So that is available on our website as well. All three of those open the same day, October 18th, 7 a.m. And the scholarships will actually close prior to program application. So that way you can learn if you're a recipient of one of these scholarships and make decisions about moving forward with an application for our program. In terms of costs, on their specific program description page on our website, there's a whole cost sheet that has both billable and non-billable costs. So billable just means you'll actually see it in your Stanford e-bill, things like the application fee and program fee, tuition, etc. And then non-billable are things that you're going to be expected to pay for, but don't necessarily come through your Stanford e-bill. So personal spending, if you buy this like optional travel insurance, any of those pieces, which only goes a few hours away, so I don't know why you would, but thank you. And then so that's how costs work. We talk about scholarships. You can apply for one May, one summer, and one fall program in this term. So this is considered a May term course. You can apply for one May, one summer, and one fall. You can't apply for 2 Mays, which is summers. So in this next couple of weeks, leading up to October 18th, definitely browse through our website. We've had info sessions going on all last week and all this week. So if you weren't able to make it to some of those, you can go to those description pages on our website and click the link to watch those recordings. Make some decisions about what kind of program you're going to apply for on October 18th, and then apply. Our office is just down the hall, Brooks 221, Brooks 201, all of that is considered Stanford Abroad. You can make an appointment with me or with a peer advisor who are just Stanford Abroad alum that'd love to talk with you and have a conversation about what it's like to be a student on these programs. What questions do y'all have about logistics, about the application process? Yeah.
Say I apply to a major program, like a winning opening on the 18th, like how long will I know what until I've gotten to that program? So will I learn that I've gotten?
Yes, great question. So our October 18th rolls around, you'll apply. Our applications will close on December 5th. There will be a couple of weeks of application review from our office. We'll be reviewing, you know, hundreds of applications in those 3 weeks. And then you'll hear from us in early January when whether or not you've been accepted into the program. There are 3 options: you're accepted, waitlisted, or denied. The only reason you'd be denied is for like eligibility reasons, if you don't meet the GPA policy, if you have big values violations, any kind of academic probation, and that's in university, that line, right? But you're not, so it's okay. And then so eligibility, and then otherwise you would either be accepted or waitlisted. You'd be waitlisted if like there's a bunch of people that fill up, and then there's, you know, doing too many of these. But
Do you prioritize one point earlier?
so that's the other thing is May and summer term programs don't have a personal statement or like an essay or a faculty rec letter or anything like that as part of the application. So the only real way for us to differentiate between applications is that time stamp. So that's why I suggest you apply early to quote increase your chances of maybe getting a spot on one of these programs, right?
Set your alarm for
Yes,
6:45 on October 18th.
yes,
Be
be ready
on
to
it,
apply, yep, absolutely, yeah, so there is preference based on time stamp, yeah, so like, just to give you all an example, we offered SOA in London, this past May, I think there were like 30 spots maybe. If you had 30 or 60, I don't remember, but you didn't apply within the first 4 minutes, so. Granted, it's SOA in London, everyone wants to take SOA abroad, and everyone wants to go to London, but. Apply early.
Then how long is the application? People are applying in 4 minutes.
Yeah, so it really, because it's a short-term program, it's May and summer, it's really, the majority of things are read, mark as read, understand, click sign and submit. It's-
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no. You're not, you don't need your credit card ready, you don't need an essay ready, you don't need a passport, you're not going out of country anyway. So, for our May and our summers, it's much less time intensive compared to our semester programs. So you'll be reading through like our passport agreement, which I don't know if that'll be in y'all's application. if you're going anywhere. I need to go, you know. Anyway,
So say somebody was trying to apply to go to Maine, to go to London in Maine. you know, But our class still has spaces open. Is there a way that once they learn they didn't get into that class, they could change their mind on which course they want to do?
Yeah, so the student is if you're waitlisted for this course or any of our, so like, you have like 6 SLA opportunities next May in somewhere in some way, shape or form. So if one program has a ton of like things like students on the wait list, then in other programs have open spots, will offer, if you've been accepted. Granted, you don't sit, been accepted, will be able to offer some of others. So yes, if they wanted to be Public Health London, there's one on wait list, we can offer spots.
That's another question
Yeah.
about us.
Absolutely.
Yes. I saw you also have a like Sanford student fee and then like you put in the amount. What is that? Cause like your application fee, program fee and then tuition, it's based on the course, then there's Sanford student fee.
There may be a student fee of some sort for May versus the semester, that's what I assume that is, but also like. I have a question for your one stop advisor.
Yeah, you're right. Curious. if you-
Your scholarships and like finance stuff out here. That's not me.
I didn't explain.
No, yeah. Yeah, no.
This is though, speaking of finances, this is probably the most bang for your buck that you're gonna get. In May or summer, I think, because it's way less expensive than going internationally abroad. Although that's really, really great, but this is way less expensive, but you also get that in-person, hands-on kind of experience that is very different from the classroom, this kind of classroom. Very, very different.
And although it's not going overseas. Really, technically speaking, the reservation is its own sovereign nation,
Yes,
so
that's right.
you can kind of think of it as a nation. Definitely international.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, you brought it, this is cultural and experiential learning all wrapped into one, so, yeah, all things you're learning about the classroom, like, that's great, but like, take it out into the field, get hands-on with your learning.
Is there their own government court system, police force stuff? It's, yeah, then it's very interesting.
Well, then technically, it's sovereign nation. I need to confirm that. I'll send out. Obviously, we have a class email to undergrads next week anyways, but I'll have. Yeah, send to the conference.
Any other questions?
I was also curious, how big is the restaurant?
You mean like land wise or people?
Like.
Not sure.
I was just curious, because I had never actually heard of this place until like this broad opportunity.
That's a good question. It is probably smaller than you would think when you learn that it's its own. But, and not all of the tribal members who identify as tribal live on the reservation, so there are a lot of people that do kind of in and they. There's kind of an interesting relationship between the members who don't live on the reservation, you know, they still are, you know, they still sort of responsible for them as well, so it gets a little confusing when you're trying, you know, it doesn't necessarily follow like the way that we're used to thinking about international borders, you know. So,
Yeah, and most Native people don't actually live on reservations in this country. If you look at the percentage of Native people, somewhere like, I don't know, 60 or 70% live off reservation. And also on reservation land, there's plenty of non-Native people as well. So yeah, the borders just aren't the same as the way we think about it in the states. And whatnot.